This episode is sponsored by Factor. Browns fans, get started on your New Year's resolutions with Factor, America's ready-to-eat meal delivery service that takes all the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success here in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, all the prep work, and the cooking fatigue. Instead, you can get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan, veggie, and more, plus they have over 55 weekly add-ons, you guys have a ton of nutritious and flavor-filled options to kickstart your resolutions. I've personally tried Factor's meals. They are incredible. I got a whole bunch of different varieties of things just to see what I liked, what I didn't, and I'm not exaggerating one bit. I liked them all. You throw it in the microwave, 2 minutes, and bam, you have a nutritious meal ready to go on the fly. And the nice thing is when things get hectic, Factor is totally flexible. You can change your order up every week with plans from 4 to 18 meals per week. You can even pause or reschedule your deliveries anytime you want. So here we go, guys. Let's stress less over our meal times in the new year. Let's get Factor's no prep, no mess meals, no shopping, no cooking, no cleanup. Head to factormeals.com/thedogs50. That's all one word, thedogs50. Use code thedogs50 to get 50% off your order. That's code thedogs50 at factormeals.com/thedogs50 to get 50% off. Happy New Year, everyone. This episode is brought to you by Built Bar. Don't be like me, Browns fans. For years, I found myself eating way too much junk on the go in my busy lifestyle. Candy bars, snack cakes, those things are delicious, but they are horrible for you. I tried granola bars, but those things are just loaded with sugar. I tried protein bars. I tried so many different kinds of nasty, chalky, gross protein bars. I got so sick of them, and then it was just right back to the snack cakes. But those days are long gone. I have been on Built Bar for years now. And if you've never tried a Built Bar, guys, I'm telling you, it's like a candy bar and a protein bar had the perfect baby. I'll tell you right now, my favorite is the cookies and cream bar. I'm like an Oreo nut. So anything Oreo or like Oreo is always my go-to. 17 grams of protein, just 4 grams of sugar, and it tastes incredible. No more chalky protein bars that leave a nasty bleh in your mouth. And Built doesn't just have bars. Now they have Built Puffs, which basically just melt in your mouth like a marshmallow. They've got collagen powders that support joint health, reduce signs of aging, and promote muscle growth. And they just launched a new line of Mighty Milk Mix for kids that provides the protein and multivitamins the little ones need without the loaded sugar. Built.com. Get there now. Save 10% on your order with our code BARK, B-A-R-K. And that code is good for everyone, new customers and returning, so you can use it as many times as you want. That's 10% off at Built.com with promo code BARK, B-A-R-K, when you check out.
I think we should talk about Joe Flacco for a second.
Sure.
The guy he came in and he was amazing. Yep. He was great in the locker room. He was great in front of the camera. He was everything we could have wanted a guy. He was a perfect guy to rally around to make this playoff push and head into the playoffs.
Yeah. Yep.
But there was like crazy talk about how we should be giving him a 2-year deal. It's like
who said that?
Just people online. There was a lot of it.
Everybody. And here's the deal. I tried to bring this up. Even talking to my dad, he was telling me about how Joe Flacco is the best quarterback we've ever had, and all these. And I said, Dad, he's throwing for a lot of yards. But in 2 of those games, he scored 20 or less. This was when he had played 4 games, 20 or less. The guy had, 8 or 9 picks in 7 games?
The reason he had to get those yards, especially, I always go back to the Bears game. He threw 212 yards in the fourth quarter. Amazing. It was like the most in any quarter by any quarterback this whole season, blah, blah, blah. He freaking had to because he handed the Bears 14 points. He had to.
So he turned the... He was playing with house money.
Yep.
There was no tape on him in this offense. There was, you know what I mean? He was a complete unknown. And he came in and he balled out and then clock struck midnight and it was
pumpkin.
It was terrible picks at the worst times. And I felt bad for him because up until that point, he was playing really well in that game, honestly. And again, I'm not going to say a bad word about Joe Flacco in terms of like he isn't the reason he's big reason why we're there. That's all I'm going to say.
That's fair.
Yeah. Because, and he was a perfect guy to rally around. And I'm going to be forever grateful for him coming in and making this a season worth watching into week 18.
Yeah.
Or 19.
Yeah.
But But I think it's clear who the future quarterback is.
It's not even a question. We talked so much leading up to this about all the problems for the Browns and how
pick six. Sorry.
Yeah, I saw that. And how we were overcoming certain things with other, Joe Flacco would throw turnovers, but our defense was really good. Defense was giving up points. Joe Flacco's out there scoring touchdowns, and it was all working out just perfectly for us to win the games. And that's great. That's what you have to do in the NFL. But yesterday was the culmination of everything that we said couldn't go wrong for this team. Defense had to travel on the road. That didn't happen.
Right.
Offense cannot turn the ball over. Most importantly, can't hand them points. We did the opposite of that. Poor officiating. Need to get something on the ground. Nothing worked. We had all of it went against us.
I'll say this about Joe Flacco. Like, for a guy that I would have said over my dead body, I would have never cheered for. You know what I mean? Like, even the idea of it. I remember when they even joked around about it. Like, they're like, we're going to work Joe Flacco out. And I was like, fuck that.
Do you remember the picture of him, or somebody snapped a picture of the future Cleveland quarterback on the plane, and it was Flacco, and he looked like disheveled and very old, and like he was just like tired from being on a plane. I was like, this is where we're at.
We watched him with the Jets and the Broncos. It's like, this guy.
So the thing is, though, like he came in a moment where we were like pretty desperate. Obviously we were getting DTR just got knocked out. He was already on the team, but he kind of came in and like reinvigorated the season and gave us hope as Cleveland Browns fans that, maybe this doesn't have to just be, we had a good record and that's the end of the season. Let's look towards next year. But the things that he did the entire time while he was in Cleveland, he always made dangerous throws. He always, you know what I mean? It wasn't like this was like a one-off, and it was like, there were some games where he'd throw into triple coverage and
Amari Cooper somehow catch.
Yes. So it wasn't like, like you said, I think finally, like as a whole unit, as a whole team, like the magic just kind of ran out. And I don't think it's like anything to be upset about. Like last night, I've seen a bunch of people saying it, and I completely agree with all of them. I was just more bummed than anything.
Yes.
Because I really felt like, and we've all talked, why not Cleveland this year? Like, you know what I mean? We've beaten the two teams that everybody is crowning and saying that are untouchable in the AFC and the NFC. Why not us this year? Let's go shock the world. And so it was just unfortunate and just disappointing.
Said it for weeks. I mean, we both were reminding people constantly on social media and stuff. Everyone, like you said, give Flacco a 2-year deal, extend him. He needs to be back next year. And we're like, guys, he's turning the ball over a lot.
Yes.
How are we not like? Why is everybody just excusing this?
If Deshaun would have put up the numbers he put up, if you took out Joe Flacco's name and put Deshaun's face on him, people would say he sucked.
Yep.
Yeah.
They just loved that Joe Flacco wasn't Deshaun and that he was throwing for gaudy yards in terms of yards and touchdowns.
And we were winning. That was a big thing with it. Whether it wasn't obviously all Joe Flacco, but like that was like a thing where people were like, hey, we're like, this is kind of something special going on here. But I argued with people about that every day for the last over the last 4 weeks. Got to get Flacco back. We got to get rid of Deshaun Watson. And that's just like, oh man. I don't want to get into that debate right now with him.
No, we got all off season to handle all that stuff.
No, I'm very appreciative. I just wanted to, I'm very appreciative of what he did for the Browns.
But we saw it for what it was. I feel like
I'd love to buy the guy a beer.
Yeah,
absolutely. Cool guy.
Yep. Very nice guy. And like you said, never in a million years would have thought I'd be rooting for Joe Flacco. Now I'll be a fan forever.
With the Browns.
With the Browns, yes. I'm not going to think about all the times you beat
Jesus,
us.
Please, yeah.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dawgs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedawgspodcast.com.